Not properly. It is my happy pleasure to introduce to this marriage gathering brother and sister Stevenson. To conclude with a song, wouldn't it? Song 36 of God. I'll start with you, Owen. So if you could just repeat after me then. You've got the mic. Okay. I, Owen Stevenson, take you, Ling Tam.
I, Owen Stevenson, take you, Ling Tam.
To be my wedded wife.
To be my wedded wife.
To love and to cherish.
To love and to cherish.
In accordance with the divine law.
In accordance with the divine law.
As set forth in the Holy Scriptures.
As set forth in the Holy Scriptures.
For Christian husbands.
For Christian husbands.
For as long as we both shall live together.
For as long as we both shall live together.
On earth according to God's marital arrangement.
On earth according to God's marital arrangement.
Very good, thank you. So, Ling. I, Ling Tam.
I, Ling Tam.
Take you, Owen Stevenson.
Take you, Owen Stevenson.
To be my wedded husband.
To be my wedded husband.
To love and to cherish.
To love and to cherish.
And deeply respect.
And deeply respect.
In accordance with the divine law.
In accordance with the divine law.
As set forth in the Holy Scriptures.
As set forth in the Holy Scriptures.
For Christian wives.
For Christian wives.
For as long as we both shall live together.
For as long as we shall both live together.
On earth.
On earth.
According to God's marital arrangement.
According to God's marital arrangement.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Everything went okay there. Okay then, so are there rings to be exchanged? So, Owen, would you like to put the ring on the bride's finger? And likewise, the ring on Owen's finger. So it would be appropriate now, wouldn't it, at this point, if we have a blessing on your marriage, and we're going to ask. Very good, so that completes the legal requirements there. So everything is in order now. We most definitely have a husband and wife here. So, obviously Owen and Ling are looking forward to enjoying this happy occasion. I mean, we're going to have a great day today, and it's such a wonderful, happy time for everybody. And we look forward to later on and the good things that we can enjoy.
Just that mic, Alan, would you?
Okay, so I've just taken a bit of time, well, about 5 minutes, to compose what can only be described as a literary masterpiece. And if you're still in doubt afterwards, you can ask our local expert in these matters. If you're not sure who that is, Paddy Taylor. Here goes. Something I wrote for Owen and Ling. Although Owen's kind of blown my whole joke out of the water, but here we go. There once was a girl named Ling. Her life wasn't missing a thing. She was perfectly happy, changing old people's nappies. Didn't care what the future would bring. So nobody ever will know why to MTS she decided to go. Perhaps she liked serving food, or she was in the mood to be with the spirit aglow. Since she assures us it wasn't her plan to find herself a good man, it must have been a surprise to come home with the prize of a brand new #1 fan. Now our Owen has always been busy, running circles that would make one dizzy. And he's ever so poor, and his eyes are quite sore from crying those tears of self-pity. But deep down in his heart he knew that those who'd resist would be quite few. Sure, he was catch of the year, so his only real fear was not knowing which girl to choose. Because it's hard to make up your mind, at least for someone of Owen's kind. Work 3 jobs or 4, buy 1 car or more. Would he ever the right girl find? But in the end, it wasn't so tough. 1 look was nearly enough. Now he's head over heels and has 1 set of wheels. For Owen and Ling, it's true love. Myself and Terence and the kids that we are so happy, to welcome Ling into our family as a daughter, sister, an aunt, and hopefully a frequent babysitter. And also we're delighted obviously to see Owen so happy because he really deserves it. And I know that Dad will be very proud of you today and every day.
I'd just like to thank everybody for being here today. I hope you've had a nice time so far. I hope you had a nice time this evening. And I'd like to especially thank, well, there's so many people to thank, but I think especially the people that served us our meals deserve a round of applause. Thank you very much to those semi-volunteers. And I'd especially like to thank my beautiful wife. For her failure to see sense.
We did warn her!
And by turning up and marrying me. So I love you, Ling Ling. I mean, I'd have always wanted to get married, but the desire intensified that. No, it's not from what you think. That December 9th, 2005, when Dave Gockram got married. Handed over the medallion of honour. My sister's always said you're like Dave Gockram, but not as successful. Sorry, Dave. But But I still thought it was okay. No problem, it's time to get married. And then leading lights such as the kid Colin and our visionary leader Stephen Gallagher tied the knot, and I started to panic. I took that final desperate step. With any spiritually minded young man would, I went to MTS. And I have to clarify something, because there's this reputation that girls go to MTS and they look for a husband. But that's not really what happened. I certainly did pursue Ling. It wasn't the other way around. But I'd like to thank her for her patience with me and her continued dedication, coming over every month to see me. She really put a lot of work into our relationship, and I think that's part of the reason why it worked. I'd also like to thank my mother and my sister, all my family, and I'm sure my father will be very happy if he was here today. Get used to wearing this. I spent most of the day fiddling with it, what it is. Now it's time to get used to it. So thank you all for coming. I hope you have a lovely time tonight. There's going to be some music. Oh, I'm sure the brothers will go into this anyway. There's going to be some music, and there's going to be a bar afterwards. There's some alcoholic beverages and plenty of soft drinks as well. So I'm sure there's the room inside for anyone who wants to play games or want to have a quiet time. I know there's a few of you that aren't very well, so thank you very much for coming, even though you weren't very well. I appreciate that. And there's some who couldn't be here because they were sick, so that's a pity when you think of them. So thank you very much, everybody, and have a good evening.
Don't laugh. You follow that but make people laugh.
You really killed the mood.
I have a few things here, actually. I should like to say, Owen Stevenson is married.
Yay!
I have a few things here. I have quite a few things to get through, but Ling went through them with me, so a few things I would like to say.
It's a blank book, I told you earlier.
Ling is great. That's great. No, seriously, it's a bit of a wonderful day. I think you'll have to agree. It's a beautiful place, beautiful venue. It's like something out of a fairy tale. I think you can sum it up quite well because Ling is very, very beautiful. I think you'll all agree. And like Owen and Ling's nephew, he calls Owen. Alex, what's your nickname for Owen?
That's it.
The beast.
The Beast. So Owen is the Beast, and Ling is Beauty, fairy tale, Beauty and the Beast. Anyway. Ling's actually quite a great girl, I have to say. She's quite unusual, which is why I took the Ling hanging out with her first. Thank goodness I didn't have to marry her. She's quite unusual and she's quite embarrassed. She gets quite embarrassed quite easily. I don't know if she's embarrassed in general or is it of her new friends and her new family, which is why we're actually eating all in there. If you look close enough, we're actually eating out of troughs. She fit in quite well with the lads straight away. I think you see all the lads, all the girls as well, but especially all the lads because we all tend to take the mickey out of each other, you know. And we had kind of high regards for her because Owen is, Aaron summed it up quite well when he said that Owen was the alpha male. Sorry, Mark, you're next. Should something happen to him, but no, Ling fit in quite well. They think they're going to make great roommates as well. I mean, goodness knows Owen has had some absolute nut jobs to live with. If it wasn't Nathan, Granny's dead coming. You didn't have to tell him when you were naked. Does he not? To Mark Joyce, feeling very spiritual. Stephen, just one more cup of tea, Gavin. And Johnny, 1, 2, 3, Hogan. Living with Owen was quite an experience for myself. I think anyone who's lived with Owen, or who indeed knows Owen, and Joe will see this, will know this, his morning habits are quite unusual. The clearing of his throat in the morning, something Ling is going to have to get very used to. It goes something like...
I told him to do the noise.
Enjoy your meal. Actually, when Owen came back and he met Ling, and that was great. I didn't know if the English crowd would like Owen. I was kind of a bit, I thought maybe they might not get him because Owen's got a quite a unique personality. So I thought maybe if I went over with Owen, that if I hung out with him, like, oh, he's a great guy. What else can I say about Mr. Pringles? Owen. You can always tell how somebody looks after the wife by how they look after the mother. I've heard that. I think you'll all agree with me. Owen has really, really looked after his mum over the years. He really, really has done a great job. He bought her a house, a car. No, I ain't saying she a gold digger. She ain't messing with no girl. Over the years, Owen has also gone out with some absolute weirdos.
Move on!
I have a card here. I have a card here from one. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, Owen's a great guy, and Ling's a great girl, and I'm very glad to get to know her, and so is everybody in Limerick and Newcastle West. They're very, very